So this week, it's a very interesting week. We are in very interesting times because we have the first month of Adar, the second month of Adar, so it's month of Pisces. But the highlight of this week, and something that we need to pay attention to, is the positioning of Mercury, which is called, in the cosmos, it's called Mercury being retrograde, which is a complete, optical illusion, because Mercury is not going to suddenly go in another orbit. It's just going to go in its own orbit, but it looks like, it's really looking backwards from our point of view, from a geocentric, this is the way that we call it in astrology, from a geocentrical point of view. Now, a couple of important things, that we need to understand that Mercury is retrograde. The biggest thing is problems with communication, which means that there are certain things that we are trying to say or we are going to try to express that will be completely received in a different way by the recipient, by the one we are expressing it to. And that might happen in emails, on a one-to-one simple conversations, in a date. We could go to a first date with Mercury retrograde and it's going to look like one of those American comedies where everything goes wrong and it's the wrong dish coming up and all kind of weird things happening. So it's better to laugh about it, because there's nothing you can do besides try to put a lot of concentration into everything that he said and repeat things, many different ways. Because Mercury rules transportations and buses and airplanes and trains, delays might occur. The train might go to a complete different direction than what we thought. We could find ourselves in Timbuktu instead of being, in the North Pole. Doesn't matter. Be patient with it. Again, it's a good time to just laugh about it and, be more zen. There's no point in getting upset. It's not going to help anybody. And it's happening. It's a fact of life. Now, the third point that is very important when Mercury is retrograde is that we have an opportunity, according to many Kabbalistic astrologers, when Mercury is retrograde, we have an opportunity to go back in the time machine and change some decisions that we have made maybe a few months ago, maybe a few years ago, that we are right now doubtful about. Like we examined something we decided to do, to relocate, to change jobs, and we haven't yet done anything about it, or we started perhaps some steps toward, in that direction. And if it doesn't feel right, when Mercury is retrograde, we stand a chance to go back in time, change our decisions. It's like going back in the time machine and therefore changing the ultimate outcome. Actually, in spirituality, it's also a very good tool, because sometimes there are spiritual mistakes we've done. There are the normal mistakes, and then there are the spiritual mistakes where I went like, oh my gosh, I was so sure I was right, and in fact I was wrong. And this is the time to really go and repair. So it can be a fantastic time. Now, this week, because of other things that are happening, so Mercury retrograde being like a bit of the gag of the week, but there are other things that are very optimal this week, which can help us network better, get new, clients if we are working with clients, or open up better, PR, for example, as long as all the contracts are checked and rechecked. Since Mercury is retrograde, again, we want to make sure that we are all in the same wavelength. There is absolutely no problem to get out there. We still have a lot of Aquarius in the cosmos, and be ourselves, go out there, connect people, give our business cards to everyone. All these things will be very optimal, and basically we'll see fruits much later during the year.